Hello everyone, welcome back to Kiran's English Hub. So in this video, we are going to go through conditional topic that is also called as a if clause. Okay, so whatever the name it is, they are all conditions. So I know that very soon you are going to have your degree examination. So let me make it very clear, very short for you to identify the answers easily. So conditionals are actually four types. There are four conditionals in English. So first condition is nothing but condition is called as possible or probable condition. This condition uses the structure of subject plus V1 or V5 plus object. This is nothing but simple present, and this is used with this is connected with another clause. The clause is subject plus will or shall plus V1 plus object. This is model number 1. This is called as first clause, first condition. Next, second condition is subject plus V2 plus object. This is called a simple past tense. This is connected with the subject plus would, should. Apart from this, we have can, may also. In the same way, here you have might and could plus V1 plus object. This is model number 2. This is called as impossible or improbable condition. Next, third one is unfulfilled condition. This comes with the structure of had plus V3 plus object. This is connected with the subject plus would or should plus have plus V3 plus object. Next, fourth one is called as zero conditions. Zero conditions, it carries only one tense. The tense is simple present tense on the two sides. Simple present tense on the two sides. So subject plus V1 or V5 plus object. So same tenses. You see, if at all you don't even read the entire entire unit also, if you remember these four structures at least, only these four structures, then you can easily answer this. Now let me once underline the important parts here. V1 V5 will shall plus V1, V2 would should plus V1, had plus V3, would should have plus V3, V1 V5, V1 V5. So this is simple present tense, this is simple past tense, this is past perfect tense, this is simple present tense. So based on the tenses, you have to change the if clause. See, you cannot remember all the questions in a textbook, right? So what you simply need to do is remember these structures. So whatever, let us go to the textbook exercise here. Look at exercise number 1. So in exercise number 1, there is already an example that is given here. So you have to use zero conditions and also first conditions here. Zero conditions and the first conditions. Zero condition is subject plus V1 V5 plus object. This is one clause. This is connected with the subject plus V1 or V5 plus object. Same tense. Tense doesn't change in the zero conditions. This is zero condition. In the first condition, same simple present tense, but here the other clause changes. The other clause changes into will or shall plus V1, right? Now look at the first example that is given in the text itself. What they have done is they have broken the sentence into different grammatical segments, and now you need to join them. First one, you heat ice, it melts. See, zero condition is used for the natural, regular, scientific cases. See, whether you heat the ice, I heat the ice, same thing is the result. Result is same for everybody. That is called as zero condition. Now, if you heat the ice, this is V1, it melts, changes into same tense. So V1 and again it is V5. That means we are using the same zero condition. This is zero conditionals. Next, coming to first condition here. If he dash, I dash be surprised. See, if he comes is V5 here. That is first condition. We are speaking about this first condition. I will be surprised. Will be surprised is nothing but here future case. So this is first condition. So based on these two, we have some exercise here. Let me write The first one, let me go through the first one. What is the first one here? People eat too many sweets, they become fat. Okay, how do you write this sentence? Let us write the sentence in this way. If people eat too many sweets, if they eat too many sweets, what happens? Simply, they will become fat. So we are using this sentence into first clause. Okay, condition number one. They will become a fat, not fast, it is fat. Clear? Next one. You smoke, you get cancer. You smoke, you get cancer. See, if you smoke, you get cancer, right? So what happens here? What we can use here? If you smoke, that is first class, we can write it into you will get a cancer. If you don't smoke, you will not get cancer. That means there is sentence is subjected to change, result is subjected to change. So here we can use the sentence into a different way. Next one, children play outdoors, they have healthy bodies. Now let us start with if here. Now what we can use here, if children play outdoors, the children play outdoors. See, we are writing only simple present cases here in all these cases because the rule that is given above is only to be used in the zero condition or the first condition. So if you use the first condition or zero condition, the same cases, in the two cases we use only simple present tense. So that is the reason in the two cases we are using only simple present case. So here it is v1, it is here v1 here. Next one. Now if the children play outdoors, what happens? They have healthy bodies. If the children play outdoors, what can be the continuation here? If they play outdoors, they will have healthy bodies. They will have healthy bodies. Next one. Water freeze it very cold. See, we are speaking about water, and remember this is related to natural case, right? Now let us look at the sentence. Natural case, tense doesn't change. If instead of if, let us go with this one. Let us write it as water freezes. Water freezes. Continuation. If it is very cold. If it is very cold, water freezes. So I have used if two times. If it is, okay, change it into it is. So this is one clause. Water freezes is one clause. If it is very cold is another clause. So if it is very cold, water freezes. Now you might ask me, sir, why did you use if in the middle? Remember, if clauses can be in two ways. You can start the sentence with if clause, and you can use first clause, and you can add a second clause, or you can use clause 1 in the beginning, you can add if in the middle, and also clause in the second part. Okay, in the two ways you can use. So this sentence relates to the second rule. Next one, everyone feel happy, the weather be good, right? Now we can write the sentence in this way. Everyone feels happy. Why everyone feels happy? Because we are using simple present tense case here. We are speaking about the natural case. Everyone feels happy if the weather is good. Everyone feels happy if the weather is good. Remember, in the two cases we are using only simple present case because we are speaking about the weather. Nature, that means it is always the same, it doesn't change. Next one, I dash early if you dash want. See, here we are using if in the middle. That means we want two separate clauses here using if in the middle. Now let us go with the I will come early if you want. Okay, you can write it as I will come here, and here you can go with the want. So it is simple present, we are combining with simple future. Next one, if the dash invited, they dash the meeting. Okay, so what can you use here? If they are invited, they will attend the meeting. You might ask me, sir, why are we using are here in the simple present tense? Remember, the structure is here are plus v3. This is the passive voice structure. Passive voice, this structure, passive voice of this structure is used when we change the sentence from simple present to passive voice. So this is active voice, this is passive voice. That means still the sentence is only simple present tense. Next one, she dash in the city if she dash find a job. What we can use here? Let us go with she will stay in the city when if she finds a job. Why are we using finds here? Because we are referring to the simple present tense. With the if clause, we need to use only simple present case here in this exercise. Next, if you dash the if you dash the exam, starting with if, so we need v1 or v5. He is there. So with the he, what do we need to use? We need to use passes, not pass. If he passes the exam, then what can we use here? He will get a promotion. If he passes the exam, he will get the promotion. Simple present, simple future. Next one, I dash buy a new dress if I dash extra money. If I have extra money, I will buy a new dress. Clear? So this is simple present still. This is already simple present. We are changing it to simple future. So remember these rules very carefully. So based on the rule that they are asking, based on the condition that they are giving there, you should change the tense. Next here, make the second, third and mixed condition. So there can be mixed condition, there can be second condition, there can be third condition also. So in this case, it is given as third conditional. As I told you, third condition comes with the had plus v3 plus it must be combined with the would have plus v3. Right? This is the structure for the third condition. Now look at the first one. What we have here? If she dash study Mandarin, she dash go to China. See, they have already given the answer here. If she had studied Mandarin, she would have gone. V3 is nothing but gone. Since third conditional, we are using this rule. Now, in the same way, if you go to exercise 1 is given as if it dash an international award, the book dash in thousands. Okay. Now, simple present in the second conditional, the structure is simple past. That means subject plus v2. That must be combined with the subject plus would or should. You can also use could or might plus v1 plus object. Now you have to use the sentence in this structure. Now if it must be used with v2. What is the v2 for win? It must be won. If it won an international award, continuation must be would should plus v1. Now what we can use here in the continuation, you can go with the book dash in thousands. The book would sell in thousands. Okay, so we are using would. Again v1 in thousands is object. Next, we dash on time, you dash give the right directions. Again we are going through third one in the sense, so remember this rule, had plus v3 would have plus v3. Excuse me. If we are using the sentence with this, so with if we have to go for had plus v3. Had plus v in the sense you had give changes to given. If you had given the right directions, so what would have happened? We would have arrived. Look at this, would have plus a v3, the same structure which I gave you before. Clear? Next, move to third one. I dash the school bag if I dash educational minister. Now again we are using if in the middle. That means we have to go with the first clause here. Now conditional is second condition. Now what we can use here? If I dash the education minister, this is called as imaginary condition. In the imaginary condition, remember, whatever the subject it is, I, we, you, they, or he, she, it, whatever the subject it is, remember, you have to use only one helping verb, that is were. That is were. Now, if I be in the sense, we have to use one be form. Second conditional be form is only were. If I were the educational minister, now on the other side, what you need to use? You need to use would should plus v1. So what you can use here? I would ban. Would plus V1 in the sense would plus ban. So I would ban the school bag if I were the education minister. Clear? Next one. If she dash well, she dash all the questions. This is third condition. So starting with if only. So if in the sense in the beginning we need had plus V3. Had plus V in the sense, V3 in the sense had prepared. If she had prepared well, she dashed the all the questions, right? So she dashed all the questions. So what we can use here? She, on the other side, I told you one rule, would have plus V3. V3 in the sense answered. She would have answered all the questions. If she had prepared well, she would have answered all the questions. She did not prepare well, so she is not answering anything. Next one. If she dash wisely, he dash happily. Here we need mixed condition. Mixed condition can be basically derived from the past perfect case. Now past perfect case in the sense, if he had invested, had plus V3, if he had invested wisely, then what happens? He would have plus V3. Would have plus V3 in the sense would have lived happily. See, the thing is, he did not invest wisely, so he is not living happily. That is the meaning. Next, sixth one. If he dash driven so rashly, the accident dash happened. Third condition. Third condition starts with the had plus V3. Now, if he had driven V3 is nothing but again driven only. If he had driven so rashly, now what we can use on the other side? See, so rashly the accident dash happened. So we have to go with the negative case here. If he hadn't driven so rashly, if at all he did not drive that fast, then the accident negative result is needed. Accident wouldn't have happened, wouldn't have plus a V3. Again we are using the same structure. Hadn't plus V3, wouldn't have plus V3. If at all had plus V3, would have plus V3 only. Okay, so based on the sentence meaning we have to change the condition. Next, look at the seventh one. If wishes dash horses, beggars dash right. Okay, if at all wishes were horses, the beggars would ride. Look at this, we are speaking about the second condition which I told you just before. In the second condition, we use it as the imaginary case, and for all the subjects we need to use only were. Keep this in your mind while writing the exam. So that is the reason, if wishes were horses, if at all wishes were horses, beggars would ride it continuously. Beggars would make use of this wishes. That is the meaning. Next one. If he dash to college tomorrow, he dash today. This is mixed condition. Mixed condition, as I told you in the beginning, we have to go with the had plus V3. Okay. Now, if we had to go, see, we have to connect this sentence here. To go. If he had to go to college tomorrow, he dash today. We can write it as he would be so sad today. Can we go for this? So if we go for this, remember mixed condition in the sense we can use any condition based on the meaning. So here we are using second condition. Second condition is nothing but starts with the subject plus V2, and on the other side we have to connect to would. Here had also can be used as V3. See, only had plus V3 is different. Only had is different. Here only had in the sense V2. Next one. You dash find the book if you dash carefully. Here we need third condition. If you must connect with the had plus V3. That means if we had looked carefully, you would have found the book. So we are using here past perfect on the second side, and continuation comes with the had plus V3, would have plus V3. Next one, 10th one. I dash happy to help if I dash in the middle of other meeting. Again mixed condition. So what we can use here, which condition can we use here? Let us go with the case of past perfect or simple past. Let us check with this. If I dash in the middle of the other meeting, that means if at all, let us go with if I had not been in the middle of the meeting, then what we can use? I would be happy to help. If I had not been in the middle of the meeting, if at all I was not in the middle of the meeting, I would be happy to help. So we can use the mixed condition of this case. Next one, exercise 3. Look at the first one. If I had informed in advance, so the sentence structure is already had plus v3. Now what you have to check for? You have to check for would have plus v3. Check for this would have plus v3. Then meaningfully we have to connect with 1. Would have won. If you hadn't informed in advance, we would have won the match. No, not possible. Wouldn't feel so awful. No, not possible. Look at any other one. We don't call. Who would understand you? Not possible. We would have kept the lunch ready. Once look at this sentence carefully. If you had informed, if you had informed in advance, if at all you had informed in advance, then I would have kept the lunch ready, right? So this is meaningful, and also this satisfies the rule that we have. So in the first case, we need to go with the J. Next, if I find your key, if I find your key in the sense, this starts with V1. So on the other hand, you have to search for will plus V1 or subject V1 or V5. Now let us check for that. If I find your key, if you had repaired well, no, you cannot use again. If we would have won the match, no, we will have enough time, no, you wouldn't feel so awful, no. If you turn the knob, not possible. The audience would understand, no, not possible. I will call you. Look at this. If I find the key, I will call you. Is that meaningful or not? So in the second case, what do you need here? H is needed. Next, the door opens. Opens is nothing but here again v5. That is again simple present case. Now the door opens when? The door opens if we had prepared. The door opens, we would have won the match, no. The door opens if I were you, not possible. The door opens, we will have enough time. The door opens if you feel it, you wouldn't feel hard, not possible. What we can use here still, the door opens if you turn the knob. Once look at this. If you turn the knob, the door opens. Knob in the sense just like handle. So what is that sentence here? If you turn the knob in the sense F sentence. So in the third case, you have to use a F. Next, I will be late. I will be late in the sense already we are referring to the future. And you have to find a sentence with if. You have to start the sentence with if. If you had prepared, will know. If I were you, maybe. We don't know how it is, but maybe we may use it. Next, if you turn the knob, not possible. If you don't worry, anything. We'll be late if you don't hurry. Don't hurry in the sense if you don't make it fast, it will be late. Can we connect it or not with I? So fourth one can be connected with the I. Next, you would have had no problem in the interview. So the structure is already would have had. That means would have plus v3. Remember, we need if sentence and with a combination of had plus v3. If sentence with the combination of had plus v3. Where is that structure? So you would have had no problem in the interview if you had prepared well. Once look at this. Sentence is starting with if, satisfied, had plus v3 is also there. Can we go for that? Or do you have any other option? If I were you, not possible. If you turn the knob, no, we have already used it. If I would have kept the lunch ready, no. So we can only go with the A case. So fifth one can be used with the A. Next one. I would inform the police. I would inform. Would plus v1. This can be connected with the if plus subject plus v2. Search for this structure, if plus subject plus v2. Where can you find it? I would inform the police. Look at this. If I were you, okay, you have to start the sentence with if, because on the other side it is not starting with if. If I were you, okay, looks good. If you don't worry, not possible. So which one can we use here? Only if I were you, I would inform the police. Next, if we meet at 9 a.m. If we meet, that comes with subject plus v1. Okay. Now if we meet, now on the continuation already if is given, right? So on the other side you need will shall plus v1 or v5. Yeah, what we can use here, if we meet at 9 a.m. already A is over, right? Did we also use C? Yes, C is also already over. Again, we need not to check C. C is already done. Next, did we use E here? No, not yet. Once we have to use E. So if we meet at 9 a.m. what happens? We will have enough time. Is this okay? If we meet at 9 a.m., then we will have enough time. If we don't meet at 9 a.m., we will not have enough time. So E can be used here. E can be used here. Next, if we had hit a boundary, had plus V3. If we had hit a boundary, on the other side, what we can use? The audience would understand you. Can we go for that? If we had hit a boundary, the audience would understand you. No. Look at the other one. Any other thing possible? If we had understand you, we would have won the match. Once look at this. If we had hit the boundary, we would have won the match. Would have plus V3. Past perfect case. Relevant or not? Yes. So B is also over. Eliminate B and write B here. Next one. If you spoke louder, what happens? If you spoke louder, in the sense already this is V2. So on the other side, you have to search for would plus V1. Where is that? Tell me. The audience would understand you. If you spoke louder, the audience would understand. You did not speak loud, so the audience did not understand. Would plus V1 is there, right, already. So we can use G case. Next, if you hadn't eaten so much, had plus V3, already if is there. So you have to search for would have plus V3. Now tell me your answer. What can we use here? If you hadn't eaten too much oily stuff, what we can use? You wouldn't feel so awful. So we need to use E here. And if you look at this one, we cannot use E here. We need to change that into D, because as we can see, the answer was only D. While I was writing, I had written wrong. So change E into D in this case. Once let us check. If we meet at 9 a.m., D must be connected. We will have enough time, right? That is what the sentence we had gone through, right? So this is how you have to solve all these questions. The only thing that you have to remember is the structures which I have given. If you want to remember the entire answers, that is up to you. Actually, conditions are not that easy unless and until you get some perfection in this. It keeps on changing the mindset of the people with the different variations of understanding. So that is the reason I gave you this one. This is model number 1, first condition, second condition, third condition, and a zero condition. So if we can remember these structures, based on the structures, we can easily answer some of the questions, right? So this is what for this. This is for the Sem-5 students of degree. So I hope it will be useful to you. And after watching the video, please do share the video with your friends. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.